Thank goodness the international break is almost over. Welcome to All for United. It is the 3-point preview because what's the point in doing a preview if we're not looking forward to 3
points?
Pints. That's what pints.
Pints.
Oh, points.
Sorry about pints, whatever. Guys, by the way, first of all, before we start, it feels like we haven't done this in ages. It's felt like the longest international break ever. So obviously, I've missed you all dearly. I've missed not hearing Joe talk about Ireland. Oh no, wait a second. I hear it every frigging show anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to try avoid talking about it inadvertently. I'm talking about it now, so it's one per video. But still, it's misery at the moment. There's toxicity, as we mentioned last night about Man United fans. It's toxicity.
Speaking of last night, Timmy, that's a strange clothing you're wearing right there.
It's in the post.
I'm enjoying this T-shirt. I'm wearing a T-shirt that belongs to me. It's a nice T-shirt that I'm wearing.
Anything you were saying right now.
Let's spoiler alert, or not a spoiler alert. Go and check out the All for United podcast from this week. That's all I'm going to say for 2 reasons. Number one, all 3 of these lads, Karthik, Temi, and Joe, 100% real talk for an hour. Like completely spot on with what they're saying about the fan base, the media agendas. Freaking fantastic show. I can't big it up enough. But also because Temi cried or something. I don't know, something about that. So make sure you go and check it out because it's fantastic. But of course, this show is all about looking forward to the West Brom game. We don't usually do this live, so it's good to be live. Get in the live chat, hit a like, subscribe to All for United. Let's go. Let's talk about the fact that international football is done and dusted for now. Well, at least for another 7 or 8 weeks anyway. Karthik, how long has this international break felt, mate? It felt like a minute since we've watched United play.
Well, it feels like it's been like 3 years. It's like what I didn't get about this international break is because like usually it's 2 fixtures, so you get 2 friendlies or 2 qualifiers, whatever it is. But this time, because we're in the middle of a pandemic and we need to be keeping players safe and not play too many games, we decided to increase it to 3.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Screw the international break. We're back. We're playing football. We're going to win the Champions League.
100% Karthik. I echo those words. Joe, have you managed to hear any whispers about Manchester United players performing? Apparently, Dan James has scored a worldie tonight. By the way,
I just saw that.
Yeah. He scored against another country.
Finland. Oh no, he scored against Finland tonight. I don't know about
Finland tonight, but did he score again as well earlier on in the international break? I don't know if he scored another one. Maybe not. Maybe I've got my sources wrong.
I think that was the last one.
Was that the last one? Okay, cool. I didn't know if he had got 2. He's got 1. It looks like Lindelof's got a bit of an injury. Pogba's been here and there. Who else? Harry Maguire didn't even play when England got spanked by Belgium. So it's been a real mixed bunch for the United lads. What have you seen online, Joe, scrolling through your timeline?
Well, what I've seen so far is that every United player that came up against Ireland either scored or assisted in some way. So that was great. Dan James scored a cracker today. Lindelof played well for Sweden. I think I've seen in a couple of group chats that apparently Bruno might have an injury, which would just be, of course, perfect. But overall, it has been utterly pointless and ridiculous that any international football is being played. There's no need for the Nations League. It was put in as an after. Well, not as an afterthought. Look, I get it. It's trying to do progress, trying to make friendly games more important. But like at the end of the day, they're not a qualifier. They're not friendly. There's no need to play friendlies. No need to play the Nations League. Okay, there's ways we can work around it, like we did before the Nations League was the thing. So there's no need to play these games now. And actually, Tony Cruz came out with a great quote a couple of days ago, basically saying, "We don't want this. The players don't want this. If there was a players' union, these games wouldn't be happening because we don't want to play pointless games. We want to play for a country, we want to play for a club, but we want the game to be important and not just for making up numbers because that's all it seems to be. There was no need for it because look at the amount of players that are we're in the middle of a fucking pandemic and you're forcing players to fly from country to country. Like that.
Wow, that escalated real quickly.
Yeah, it just. I'm trying to be as calm and cool and collected as possible, but what is the point in doing these international games?
I saw the match light up in his eye then.
Yeah, it literally went, didn't it? It's like he suddenly went. It's like it was so monotone and calm, and then all of a sudden, just gone. Brilliant here. We've got the questions coming in already. Croppers FC question for Joe: how would you feel if Grealish and Rice came to United? Do you know what? Actually, let's not. Temi, let's come over to you.
Okay.
Temi, let's come over to you. International break, Temi. What do you make of these international breaks, especially now? as Joe's just lit a fire on in the middle of a pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, selfishly, as someone who likes to just watch football in general, like I just like having something on the TV. You know what I mean? Just in that very selfish aspect. But I do think it was kind of forced this time, especially because a lot of them weren't qualifying matches. I mean, for me, I'm a Nigeria fan. Some of the matches were important, so it was good to see that USA. There was a friendly and then an important match we played. So a little bit different for us in this. Well, me as a fan of the USA and Nigeria, a little different. But yeah, I agree. I don't think there really should have been an international break. It would have been really nice for the players really just not to literally just have a 2-week break. If you want to, give the Premier League some time, or give all these other domestic leagues some time, just let these guys have a break because they really never had a break in the first place. So yeah, international break is cool just to watch, different players in different colors and stuff, but it wasn't necessary.
Yeah. Karthik, just coming back over to you about the international break. I've put a question out there on the All for United account. We've seen a lot of rumours about positive COVID tests. We've also been in the world of Alex Telles for the last week, where he ends up with a positive and then a negative and then a positive again, and then it's like an ever-ending. It's like Alex Telles is like an episode of EastEnders. Like literally, the drama doesn't stop at the moment when it comes to these COVID tests. Temi, you will not get that reference. Don't worry about it. But on that, Karthik, what do you make of? Do you think it's going to do more damage than good, this international break? Already we know Salah can't play for the Scousers. There's also a couple of other players who are coming back from international breaks not being able to play for the club for 2 weeks because of isolating. What do you make of it all?
Yeah, that Alex Telles thing is like a really bad pregnancy test, isn't it? Not that I would know. Not that I would know.
Yeah.
Not that I would know.
Karthik, do you want to talk about it, mate?
I think this is the best forum to do it in front of all the viewers and amongst friends.
I'd rather not, because my missus is somewhere behind me listening to this, so let's not do that.
She's as confused as anyone.
I've got so many questions. I don't know about you guys.
Let's just carry on. Where was I going with this?
Temi's face.
Yeah.
Where am I going with this?
You asked your missus to carry on. That's what I heard. She said she's behind you and you need her to carry on. Continue.
Yeah, that is what you said, but I don't know what you're.
I'm sorry. This is too funny.
Croppers has said it's almost as if these international breaks are pointless at the moment. Karthik, do you think this international break is going to cause more harm than good?
That's what the question was. Yes, I do think it's going to cause more harm than good, especially because, like Joe said, they're flying to different parts of the world. I mean, you can see from for example, the Telles COVID thing, that he's been stopped from traveling first, and then he's been tested negative, and then he's able to travel again. And it's just like, number one, it's just not good for their health and for their mental health. And two, it's just taking the absolute piss because, you're keeping players almost quarantined for no reason at times because maybe, I don't know, it was an easily avoidable situation. For example, it was like the England game tonight. Was it tonight or was it the Ireland one where it was meant to be playing against New Zealand? And they could have just left that an empty fixture and given them an extra week off, but instead they had to fill it. So it's stuff like that where you think, who's making these decisions? And it's just another example of where the game's going, where it's not geared towards player safety, it's towards making money. That's just what it is at the minute.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Joe, what do you make in terms of putting the players first? I mean, we talk a lot this season about the fact that the players didn't have a pre-season, and Temi hit on the fact that actually, from a fitness point of view, it might have been nice you hit on it as well about players being able to have a break too. Where are you at with this? Because from here, we play a game every 3 days till the new year. I think it's even to the end of January if we get through to the Carabao Cup semi-finals. Yeah. So what do you make of this fixture backlog coming up? And do you think this international break could have helped that?
Well, it is utterly insane that they're playing these games, 3 games in 6 days. There's people who picked up injuries. Even in the Irish squad today, there was 13 injuries, whether it COVID related or outside related, and they're getting that unnecessarily. And that's across every Bulgaria load as well. So you have these players come back to their clubs that are half fit or infected and infecting other players. And also I think it's almost what is the word? It's showboating to the public, because these aren't the playoffs. Fine, just play the playoffs. That's all you need. Semi-final, final. No one needs friendlies. No one needs anything else, because you're bringing these players across the world, going to other countries where other people can't go anywhere, and all they're doing is picking up COVID and bringing it back to their clubs. Like no one is benefiting from international football at this moment in time. Like, because no one's able to get games, because every team is riddled with either injuries or COVID. So like they're not even playing a full strength team. So it's really just to fill up like gaps. Really, like Kartik was saying, it's just, instead of just saying, oh, we can't play this game, let's just give it a couple of days off. No, FIFA are demanding that games are being played. I don't know why. Clearly, it's to do with money, through advertising or whatever way they're making money. But the players aren't benefiting, the fans aren't benefiting. This is entirely shock horror for FIFA or UEFA or whoever it is, because it's just about them making money, and it's horrendous.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like the competitive games mean a lot, and Temi was mentioning there about some of the competitive games that he was looking forward to watching over the international break. I get it, but you're right. When we're stacking 3 fixtures within an international break where maybe 2 of them aren't needed, what's the point? Jacob says, I like international breaks. We won't have another till February or March now anyway. Well, we'd hope so. And hello to Fahad, who says the Uruguay national team had a bloody outbreak, minimum of 7 people, including players, and the team doctor testing positive. It was ridiculous. Yeah, I saw that, because they're wondering about Cavani. But let's hit on Temi a bit about player form. A lot over this international break has been spoken about Pogba, so I don't know if you want to hit on anything you've seen about Pogba. Obviously, Cavani got sent off last night. Bruno Fernandes, I don't know what the relevance is, but I just saw the stuff that he got hooked at half time and maybe didn't have the best first half. Victor Lindelof nursing a back injury by the looks of it. Where's the positives? Like, Dan James had a good game. That's all right.
COVID.
But are you worried about players taking negative form and bringing it back to the club?
No, not really. I know Bruno had a tough last game. It's pretty poor. He gave away the ball a lot in a very short amount of time, but that's fine. I don't really think it translates too much, international to club, success, because we've had it where Paul's played really well for the international team, and then he comes back and it's just not the same, if that makes sense. I mean, obviously there's but he's playing with probably the best group of talent in the world, so it's going to be different, obviously, but yeah, I mean, there's not much positives to take from this international break. You know what I mean? We had a lot of injuries. Some players were hit and miss. So I mean, yeah, I wouldn't put the two together. You know what I'm saying? I think we need to just focus on, what we should be doing for this next game, how we should approach it, because I think all the players, when they get back, it's kind of new team, new tactics, new thought process. So just got to worry about that.
Focus on number 1. Back to the club. Club form is what needs to be at most priority. Yeah, completely agree with that. Carfit, then moving on to point 2, I think it's important that we talk about the need to get into some form now. I've spoken about this a little bit today with the couple of different podcasts I've jumped on, and I mentioned it on Wall of Reds. Ollie said that we'd need 6 to 8 games to find full fitness and to find a consistent run of form. Now's the time, isn't it, that we need to start putting together not just performances, but most importantly, a good, consistent run of form to see where we are at the moment, because we just don't know where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, the first 6 or 7 fixtures, we've had that now. And as you can probably have guessed at the start of the season, we did have a shaky start. I mean, this last season ending the way it did, the schedule being what it is, you expected a bit of shakiness to start the season. So, I mean, some of the results you can't really excuse, like the Istanbul result, like the Spurs result, but all together, the performances haven't been great, and I put that down to a mix of things. Number 1, performances haven't been great individually, and number 2, some of the setups haven't been great. Number 3, fitness has been a part. But now it's not really an issue, because we've all sort of caught up a little bit. We've got a run of games now that I'm just looking at the fixtures now. After this weekend, we've got obviously Istanbul at home, then we've got Southampton before we play PSG, West Ham, and then Leipzig. So these are games that are a little bit tougher.
Oh, Karthik, you're popping. You're proper popping. That was oh, it's stopped now. I don't know if you pulled a wire out. That was like a proper. Yeah, that's fixed it, mate. So carry on.
That's it. I was saying that the run of fixtures we have now look a little bit tough on paper, but they're games that we should be winning, really. So this is our best chance now to put a run of games together and really build up some form. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing isn't always necessarily winning the game to get your form up. It's the momentum that carries you from each game. So if you can get a good performance in, at least that lifts up the confidence and you can build on it from there.
Oh, sorry, I muted myself. Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. Momentum's really important, and it's really important that we also strive forward and we take pride in our performances and we get some excitement back around the club, back in the fan base, back in the players. You know, we need them to look forward to getting back out at Old Trafford, especially, Joe, because Old Trafford has been, it used to be we struggled away from home. We now struggle at home without anyone there, which is the strangest thing ever. You've got this magnificent arena to play in, this amazing stadium to sort of kick on in, and they're struggling at home. So how important is it for you for us to find some form now?
Oh, hugely. Like, let's look, whatever we want to talk about, whether how long Ollie's got left or maybe the turning point again was against Everton, who knows, but like, this game is vital. This is a must win, and this must be a handy win. This is a good time to play West Brom because West Brom aren't doing good whatsoever. So like, we need to just not make this difficult, not make this awkward in any way, just nail them. As soon as it comes out, put a goal behind, get a goal in the first 15 minutes and hopefully get 2 more later on in the game and just control it from top end and don't make it in any way difficult. I'm feeling confident. I just feel like this could be a nice turning point, and with the international break after coming after a really positive win over Everton away, I feel we'll do it. But this whole thing of not being able to win at Old Trafford seemed to be constant since Fergie's left. I remember like David Moyes had a great away record, and obviously, well, an awful record overall, an awful home record, and every manager pretty much it's come down to at home. It's very hard to put a consistent run together. Like, Ollie's been the best at it, obviously doing 14 games, whatever, 16 games it was, home and away. But it's been so difficult for any manager to really put up a consistent home like battlefront. So we just need to get a win on Saturday and then just take it from there and just hopefully keep winning. But I feel like there's no other way around it. A win has to be.
Yeah, Temi, let me come over to you, mate. Why for you is it important for us to build some form?
It feels for the league table.
What is going on with everyone's microphones today?
I will say my mic is lovely. Okay, I will say.
Temi, you sound like a Dalek.
Joe, Temi's a robot.
Oh, we knew it. We said this yesterday that Temi was a robot, and now he's confirming it again. Okay.
What is going on though? Like, we do the first ever live preview, and yeah, we can hear you now, Carl. Jacob here in the comments. Temi's gone proper Matrix. Temi, you might want to jump out and jump back in. It might help you. Brendan's actually jumped on and said maybe save the money sending Temi a Maguire shirt and invest it in Karthik's headset instead.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe we need to buy.
Please display Fahad's comment.
Which one here? Here we go.
Oh, Jesus.
Rojo,
Yes.
Do you know what the next comment is about injuries and players we bring in to replace? Because we don't know. I mean, there was reports today, and we'll get onto it. I want to get Temi's thoughts in a minute. But there was reports today about the fact that Rashford will be ready for West Brom, but we just don't know. Because if he is, I don't quite know what the injury is. Does anyone know what Rashford's injury is? Because I don't know if he's hurt his back again. Which, if he has, that's really worrying.
Yeah.
So if he's ready or not, it might see us having to play Cavani and moving Martial out to the left. Additionally, Lindelof looks like he could potentially be out with a back injury too, and Shaw's injured. So there's potential there that we've got to make 3 changes to the team straight away because of injury. So we'll wait and see on that. We'll see if we can get Temi back in. Guys, get in the comments quickly. If you've got a question for me to quickly ask Joe or Karthik about anything, get it in the live chat now, and I will ask it. Any question from anyone, Jacob, Farhad, Brendan, don't let me down here. Anyone out there watching on Twitter, YouTube, a question for Temi, for Karthik or Joe can be about anything. Get it in. Make sure you subscribe to All for United, by the way, and hit like. Anything can happen on this channel. So just do it. It's a preview show. We're saying come on and say anything. Here we go.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, he's back.
Exterminate.
Okay, cool.
Exterminate.
My fault, y'all.
How important is it, Timmy, for us to
What
find
was the
some form?
question? What was the question?
How important is it for us to find some form, Timmy?
Oh yeah, crucial. No matrix sound. All right, perfect.
Is that it?
No, but like I was saying, I think our next 3 games, we really need to look at it as must wins. I think it's West Brom, Istanbul, Southampton. Then we have PSG. So like we just need to get 3 games on the bounce, something to kickstart this season, because time is going to run out on our manager if we keep on having these 2 wins, a loss, a draw, another loss, a couple. Like it's just not ever going to be sustainable for him if he can't get a run of form going that actually pushes us up in the league table, makes us competitive in cups. It's actually crunch time for him, especially in this season where we're going to be having games, every 3-4 days. So we need to get this train moving quickly, very, very quickly.
I do completely agree with that. We scrutinise players for consistency. I think we've got to scrutinise managers as well for consistency. And I completely agree with that. I think we need to get some results on the board and we need to do it quickly. And as I think, Karthik, you hit on as well, this is the perfect time to do so with the fixtures coming up. So let's move on then to the final point before we absolutely lose everyone. And I'm left here on my own talking to myself because, Joe, you're next. Karthik's had problems. Temmie's had problems. But what's going to go wrong with you? I want to talk about potential changes that we are forced to make this weekend and who we make. So the 3 situations potentially are that Rashford, I know there's reports that he might be okay, but I think if that's his back injury reoccurring, that's a worry and you don't throw him straight back in. So I think Rashford potentially may miss out or be on the bench this weekend. Lindelof looks like his back injury has reoccurred during the international duty. And on top of that, Luke Shaw is now out, Karthik, your favourite player.
Oh, no.
So 3 players there. Who comes in for them? Go. That's you, Karthik.
Oh, just
me? Oh, right. Okay. Rashford, that'll be Cavani and Martial on the left. Lindelof, probably Tuanzebe. I hope it's Tuanzebe because I don't think Bailly's fit, is he? I'm
never
sure
is.
he's injured.
Just presume he isn't.
That's what I do at this point. I just assume he's injured. Axel or Rojo. And then Luke Shaw, obviously, it's Alex Telles, who may or may not have COVID. Who knows?
Could or could not have COVID. Brilliant. Go and give us 70 minutes, mate, with this deadly virus. And then I might bring you off.
Just go cough on someone.
Go and scare the life out of them. Temmie, what do you think? So we could be without Rashford, Lindelof, and Shaw. Who comes in for them, and how much of a miss are they going to be?
Yeah, I think they're not gonna. It sounds awful. I don't think we're gonna miss them too much. Lindelof, Tuanzebe can come in for him and do a job. I'm not too worried about that. We can put Martial on the left, and he'll do an equally or better job than Rashford would. And we have Cavani, who's a proven veteran goal scorer. So, and Alex Telles is a better left back than Luke Shaw. No shade to Luke Shaw.
Say it again, Temmie.
I'm not doing this. I don't hate Luke Shaw as much as most people do, but yeah, Alex Telles is just a better left back. So we're not gonna miss too much, especially against West Brom to start off with. Like if we can't beat West Brom with those players that are missing, then man, oh man, I don't know what we can say. Like there's literally nothing. We don't deserve anything in this season. We don't. I'm sorry. We deserve nothing. We can't beat West Brom with that. It's a fact.
I love that. Karthik, you mentioned there about so we're talking about players who we're not going to miss. Sorry, Joe, I'm going to come to you, but I just want to ask Karthik this because it's going to bait him out a bit. Hasn't Luke Shaw been one of our better players this season, and hasn't he potentially been our best player this season? So to dismiss the fact that we won't miss him, don't you think that's a little bit harsh, though, Karthik?
Unfortunately, I can't agree with you saying that he's been our best player. That unfortunately I would give. I'd give that to Fred, just because I think he's been more consistent.
Maybe for the last 3 games.
And I don't want to give it to Luke Shaw. But unfortunately, I can't say Luke Shaw's been bad. I actually can't say he's been bad. He has had quite a good start to the season, but I just think Alex Telles would be better in those games.
Joe, who's played the most minutes for United this season?
Luke Shaw and Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Oh,
David De Gea.
okay, Luke Shaw has. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, interesting. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder why he's played the most minutes. Might have something to do with him being one of our better players so far.
Could well be.
Maybe.
I'm losing connection, so it's my headset. I can't hear it.
Okay, everyone yelling at him.
That happened.
Say that again, Terry. Sorry, mate.
I said Tellez got COVID. That also happened. It was like PSG that COVID.
I do think though that Luke Shaw does deserve a little bit of respect on his name, only because, and I'm not saying anyone is disrespecting, by the way. This is just me having a joke.
I am.
I'm going to say Cardiff definitely is.
Yeah, definitely is. I just think that we did all write him off at the start of the season, and maybe we all will in a couple of months' time if when he comes back from this injury, he doesn't pick up form again. But I do think that I like the fact he spoke out about our summer transfers, and he actually did that. I think that takes a bit of bollocks, and it was nice to see. I like the fact that for once, and we do say this a lot, but this season he actually did look in some slight shape to start the season, especially compared to other players. He actually hit the ground running, and he has a couple of assists to his name, and has definitely showed a better level of performance since Tellez came in. So I actually think that when we are talking about players who have been better so far this season, or potentially good when it comes to us, and put in mind we've had a poorish start to the season, I do think Luke Shaw deserves a shout, as I do think does Harry Maguire, as does I think Bruno Fernandes and Fred. But yeah, obviously we want to be talking about other players and those guys, and we expect other players to be setting the world alight. But there we go, just a shout for sure. Joe, same question. Let me come over to you quickly. I know you're probably going to agree with the guys, but Cavani potentially in. Would you think for Rashford if he misses out, or?
I don't think Cavani will start, if I'm being honest. I think he will still come off the bench. I just think I know he got sent off the other night to make it that he'd have a little bit more rest for United. But I think with the travelling and with the fact that he's not fully fit yet, I think it'll probably end up being Martial down the middle, maybe Dan James on the left. Something like that, especially Dan James has scored a cracker, so maybe he feels like he does have a lot of love for Dan James. That's why I think he might throw him in as well. But other than that, it'll probably be Axel and Tellez hopefully be back in. But the gas thing is, I thought Luke Shaw was relatively poor at the beginning of the season, but the second we bought Tellez, he got 3 assists on the bounce. And I remember being incredibly frustrated by that. It was like, just stay shit. Like, if you're going to be shit, stay shit and let Tellez come in. And don't be deadly and then have a struggle to have a better player come in. And
he wasn't deadly.
Well, not deadly, but I mean, for him.
I mean, he was pretty deadly, wasn't he? Yeah,
he was, assisting the shit out of him, actually. Yeah, actually, he was deadly. I think that's most appropriate. Yeah, great player.
He was great, fantastic player, Luke Shaw.
What a guy! Yeah,
fantastic player. I actually, there's people actually saying Dan James, and the only reason why I don't play Dan James is we're going to be playing against what I'm sure Karthik would call as a low block this weekend. So Karthik, let me just get slightly tactical with you, although I didn't ask you to prepare anything, so I am sorry about this. But what will United be coming up against, do you think, this weekend? Where are we going to win the game? Where are we going to lose the game, do you think?
West Brom, probably, as you said, they're going to be in a low block. I mean, I would be surprised if they did anything other than that. So you're going to see them probably camp just outside the box. Close down the space through the middle, because that's where you want to protect, the area you want to protect. No space in behind, so don't bother trying to play through balls in. So this is the kind of game you want some of your technical players on the pitch to try and break through the lines, play a penetrative pass, try and be a bit more creative rather than just, we've been a bit one-dimensional recently. I think these are the kind of teams that try to catch us out in that sense. Where we could lose the game would be, I don't know if he's fit, but Mateus Pereira for West Brom, he's a very good player. I think we have to keep an eye on him. I'm not sure who else I'm really worried about in their ranks, really. They're not a team that we should be worried about. So I think we shouldn't really be having to... I've just seen a private chat and you've thrown me off completely, Ben. Yeah, we shouldn't be worried about West Brom. We should be okay. But yeah, it's a low block. It's going to be frustrating. It'll probably end 1 or 2-0, and it's going to be a boring game. Don't expect anything other than that.
Yeah, I completely agree. Sorry, I got mesmerised.
By the way.
My head just got taken away completely out of the game. Thank you for that. You are completely spot on it. How Robson Kanu? What a player!
He's not still there. No, he's not. Is he?
He's not still at West Brom, is he?
I love him so much because he completely robbed a career. Like he was on a free transfer. Like he got released from Reading, I think it was, and in the championship, and then he scored that incredible goal in the semi against Belgium, which won the Puskas goal of the year or whatever it was. And from that, he signed for West Brom, but it did nothing with them. Absolutely, like I respect that so much.
Brendan says, I'm not worried about West Brom. I'm worried about playing at home. It's mental, isn't it? And actually, you sent a question earlier on, Temmie. If you want to answer this, feel free. What's with our poor form at home? I mean, we spoke a bit about needing consistency and a run of games, but what is with our problems at home at the moment, Temmie?
I don't know what the answer is to that question. It doesn't make any sense. I don't even know if there is home and away form right now with no fans. You know what I mean? I think honestly, if there's fans in these stadiums and we played the way we played against Crystal Palace, no. I mean, the performance levels will just have to raise because you're getting you're getting screamed at. So I don't even think home court advantage matters right now, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously you know your pitch better than your opponent would, but there's no adrenaline being driven from fans. So maybe that's something that's holding us back. Because there's no other really excuse for it. I mean, we've played Crystal Palace, Spurs. Who else am I missing? Leipzig. We did. Yep, I can't remember else we faced, but it's just not been good. It's not been good. I can't really put my finger. No, it's very weird.
Yeah, and I think the guys have all. I think a couple of players. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Harry Maguire and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer have both said in a few of the games the Stretford end would have sucked the ball into the back of the net, and I think United have been guilty of doing that quite a few times at home. As ever with this show, we're going to put our 11s in the chat below. In the comments below. So please, guys, once we finish the show, Joe, Karthik, tell me if you guys can do that. Then just hit a like on whose 11 you like best, and then that person will literally divulge in glory for a week until we do this show again. Well, 2 days, because let's face it, there's going to be a preview show every couple of days at the moment. But before we go, let's do a few more predictions. Karthik, first goal scorer and score prediction, please.
First goal scorer, let's go with Bruno and 2-0 United.
Love it. Joe?
I'm going to say 3-0 and Dan James.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Temmie respects that. Hey,
I keep on trying to tell people Dan James was my lock screen for forever, but people
love that. First goal scorer and prediction, Thames.
Okay, first goal scorer, I'm gonna go with Anthony Martial.
Maguire? No, okay.
Maguire's gonna get a 3-1 victory. Martial gets the first goal. Maguire gets one of the last two. I will take back everything I have said about Harry Maguire if he gets a goal against West Brom.
Someone clip this up. Clip this.
Take it back. Harry,
take it back.
Be my captain.
Do you know what, though, Temmie? I've only heard you say good things about Maguire, so I don't know what you're going on about. Rich Sports says at least 3-0 he's expecting. Mason to start says, Jacob, who knows? Potentially, again, he's one of those players who hasn't been on international duty. And I said this earlier on, who do I expect our midfield three to be? And you'll see it when I put the predictions below. I actually expect it to be Matic and Fred because they haven't played at all during this international break. And with Bruno, that's just what I expect to see. With the games coming thick and fast now, do not expect to see a few wild cards in there. That's all I'm going to say. So potentially Mason Greenwood to start, potentially. Fahad says 2-1 United, Greenwood, brace. Brandon just wants some clarification on your positioning here, Temmie. Does an own goal by Maguire also count?
No, it doesn't count. I won't
No.
Right, okay. Can you just put that in writing, just so that we can make sure that we have those T's and C's cemented? And Croppers is looking forward to a potential Maguire and Zabi partnership this weekend. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see, because it does look like Victor Lindelof has hurt his back, bless him. He was holding it throughout the whole game the other day, and I think he also came off injured. We'll wait and see. Right, guys, thank you for joining me. Go give Karthik, Temmie, and Joe a follow. Their ats on the screens, and they'll be on the All for United account as well. Hit that subscribe button. Join us for the match reaction. Karthik could be live with you for that. Hopefully, Temmie can join him as well. And we will speak to you at Wall of Red Sunday night. That's where I'm going to be. And me and Joe will speak to you on Monday night. We're going to be doing a show together. Woo! It's going to be carnage. So we will speak to you guys soon. Hit that subscribe button and smash the like on the video.
We're on the Champions League.
out of here.